guys, it's Reilly. Welcome back to Really Reilly the podcast. Anyways, if you're new here, we'll be talking about the bad experiences we've had, family drama, relationships, college and career, some special guests, and maybe a few surprises.
In this episode, we have two special guests joining us today, Zoey and Cherianne. Zoey owns Zoey's Bikinis and Cherianne owns Sea Egg. And today, we will be talking about a few things along with giving you a different perspective from 3 different generations. Alrighty, let's get into it.
We're back!
And now we're going to talk about today's problems in society.
But there's so many. Where do you want to start?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Like, the whole world's a mess, guys. Let's just like...
I mean, we could start with social commentary.
Sure.
I think right now we live in a generation where everyone has opinions, and nothing is wrong with that. Like, you're a human, so you have opinions. But I think cancel culture is something very crazy to me in these years, because how does a group of people really, like, I know people be like, oh, social media is just like online, it's not going to affect you in the real world, but like literally people could get air quote canceled and lose like a lot of opportunities,
right?
And sometimes it could be over a lie. So I think that is a problem in society, and I think is bullying in a way too, because
I would agree.
If you look at it from like the other perspective, like you see something online and you think you have this opinion, this person is wrong, I hope they die, suicide, this and that, you know, when people go down that hard, but they don't see it on the inside, the person actually like reading these things, and then like in their bed they're depressed, they cut their hair, like endless crying. They don't see that side and how they affect the actual person. So I think that's like a crazy part of society, how like they, on one hand, the head people that say these things too are the people with like the empowerment, women empowerment, 555, the little circle heart thing, right? Like good vibes only. Yeah, you're saying the worst things about the sad women, and it's just crazy.
But what's annoying is, if you saw them face to face, these same people would not say it to your face. It's so easy for them to write it behind the facade of a screen.
Right.
But they don't have the to say it to your face.
No, not at all. Not at all. They really don't. They don't give an they're just like, oh, well, you, like, you know. Well,
maybe they'll say it to your face, do like a little rant, but...
Some of them will. It depends, though.
Most won't.
But most won't, yeah.
I think I just don't stand for bullying. I don't like when people gang up
and tear down others,
group, especially when there's like a person who doesn't get into that, so they're not going to say nothing, and then they could just look like, if this person being quiet, they may say nothing,
right? And
then if you say something to defend yourself, it's like the person twists your words,
right,
and make it look worse than it is, and it's like, okay, that just flew over your head, but let me just move on,
right?
I don't like cancel culture. I really don't stand for it.
What would you say, Cherianne? Like, I agree with her. 100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously. I mean, I on a different age group again.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's a different perspective.
Yeah. I don't really give a
Try's like, everything I read. Bye.
Oh, wait, actually, I was talking about this the other day, and they were saying this is because of our generation, where social media is like our portfolio and our identity. So we're to blame. That's why we care so much about it. Right. But I feel like if you're
the older generation,
they're just like, I don't even know what's Twitter. They know it's Twitter, but they're like, I don't care what these people are saying.
Yeah, don't get involved. I'm like, well.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's y'all's drama.
Well, so my the thing is then I have kids, and then I worry because.
Right.
People will bully them online. And I'm just thinking, well, can't you tell them to just stuff it? And they're like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. Nope. That's how my cousin feels at 14. Yeah.
But things could really affect people in real life. Like, I don't know if you heard about it was last year.
No, what happened?
I can't remember. Okay. He did a lot of work for Barbados. He support Barbados. He stand for Barbados.
Right.
And I think he brought out a song that was like a bit vulgar or something. Not like if every other soca song isn't vulgar, but anyways.
Right.
People were saying bad things about it, and eventually Digicel and them like dropped their sponsors from him and all that. That's why people say things about certain things, and like, yes, you can have your opinion, but then
you got to be careful.
People don't want to associate with the person because they're getting so much heat on them, and then they lose like opportunities, and it's like, that's not fair.
Today's problem in society.
Hypocritic Sunday church people. Sorry, they only go to church on Sunday, and that's the only day
they don't preach God
good.
Through Monday through Sunday.
No, sorry,
just the Sunday, just Sunday.
I really thought, other Bajans would see through that, but there are obviously a lot of gullible people out there that are just sheep.
Right. And you see, I didn't even know about that. Look at me living in a freaking under a rock.
Well, I guess it wasn't. I could be telling you a story wrong, but I know you lost like some. I don't know the person exactly because I just get mixed up. But I know for sure like he lost like a couple opportunities because of that.
I feel bad, and I don't even know who this person is. Yeah, like it
was ridiculous because it's like, how you gonna really
twist some lies up and some conspiracy
over this
theories.
One song, and he been supporting Barbados for so many years. That's what I mean, that it's so hypocritical.
And I'm sure the song was like probably just like a fun project that he was working on or something. I'm sure.
Like, if they're like two that you can't hear a couple of curse words, like some songs are vulgar, but like don't listen
does
to
that
it.
mean that we don't listen to Eminem? Like, come on.
I'm saying
things are explicit, and that's just how it is. Like, you're telling me that you got to be pitch perfect and that you're not gonna drop the. Come on, like what? No. Like, that's crazy. I have a potty mouth, honestly. And my parents...
do.
Yeah, right? Like, who doesn't in today's society?
Most do.
My parents don't like it, but shout out to you, Mom and Dad. But they know that, like, sometimes I get really irritated, and that's just how it comes out. Is it appropriate? No. Is it kind of toxic? A little bit. But, yeah. What are other issues that we could discuss?
Societal issues. What's wrong with society? Everything is wrong with society. Like, this should be so easy.
Probably
right?
mental health issues associated with COVID.
COVID ruined everybody, literally.
I think it's crazy to think that we literally lost a couple years of our lives.
From a pandemic.
Because I imagine in the beginning of pandemic, you were like 18, you coming out in your 20s, and you feel like you just lost a gap.
You lost a whole gap, and you couldn't even go out and socialize without a mask.
I mean, I'm just looking at the kids, and my daughter lost years of school.
Mm-hmm. That too.
And, it ended up, I don't think she did her CX season. She did not do as well as she had hoped. Because she just is not the kind of person that does well when it's not face-to-face.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to zone out. You're at home, you're looking at the screen and you're just zoning out, and I totally get that.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that is actually very crazy too, because that part of your life, if you're going to school, is like really important, and like people didn't get to take in information as well as they could have, and like teaching online is really difficult rather than teaching in person. Right. But on the other hand, when I was at college, like I wasn't the best, and like when I used to go to classes, I used to learn everything from YouTube and online,
because the teachers, I feel like, weren't even teaching us properly, even in America, like, because I finished college there, and I honestly just winged it. I was like, you know what, if it's a C, fine. If it's a B, fine. At first I was getting all A's and B's, and you know what I said? I was like, you know what, is this what really matters, like me having this degree in my hand, which I have? Or does it matter, like, who I am and, like, what I want to do in life? And, like, do I want to make a difference for younger generations? And that's another reason, like, mainly, like, I know I started out as, like, drawing and things like that into, like, a young developing artist. But then I became, like, an actual brand. Like, my name's an actual brand. But it took a lot to get to that. And then going back to college, like, how people, like, teachers and professors or whoever want to define you and say, oh, you can't be this or you can't do this. And, and then when the pandemic hit us, it was like, oh, okay, like, now you guys are all going to learn from online. That was horrible. Like, literally, I feel like I was wasting money. I was like, wow, was my degree like a waste?
I think it depends on which area you're going into, though, because if you're more creative, like, you could, like, do all that, but if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you need to be in the books, and you need to learn things the right way, I guess. The right way, air quotes.
Yeah, air quote. The right way.
So that's why I know for some people, missing school was really important.
Yeah. And,
like, it was a bummer.
Because then it would add on more years for them in the future. Yeah. When they just wanted to have their own business, not their own business, but like you said, they're going to be a doctor, a dentist, or an accountant, or whatever it may be, and like that. Yep. It's like I call it, and my mom gets on my case all the time, I call it a desk job. And I always told her, I said, Mom, I never in my life, after I get lifted off the ground for my creativity and I get recognized, and thank goodness I am now, like I have developed my name into a brand. I said, I do not want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. I hate it. Like I have no time to be selfish, like rarely, like barely any time. And it's not my passion. Like I like doing it, but I know what I want to do. Like I could see myself doing other things, but everyone starts somewhere, right?
Another reason why I went into sewing and doing stuff for myself too is because I couldn't get a job. No one hired me. So I never actually worked for anyone. Like I just worked for myself. I went to many interviews. Everybody said no, but I'm introverted. Right. So I guess for the interviews, I wasn't as good as I could have been. So
I'm very outgoing and a big social butterfly. So
yeah, I can't. I lose interest very fast. My social body runs out very fast.
all as well. But you know what? Now you have Zoey's Bikinis. It's your brand, and I'm sure you make like good money from it because
Yeah, well,
here and there. It's your passion, so that's what matters. And the dollar bill comes along with it, but if you're happy, that's all that matters.
Well, that's why, unfortunately, I have to have a air quotes real job because actually, I would not be able to afford the luxury of having this hobby, this selfish hobby, if I didn't have a job that would pay my bills. Because that one does not.
Yeah.
And it's slightly different. You're a lot younger. I don't know if you've got less bills than I do, but it cannot.
Yeah,
support my household.
Yeah, I have less bills, but I'm just grateful I have a passion that could pay the bills. Because right now I probably just got rent and food. I don't got to worry about nothing else besides once those are paid,
I don't even have to worry about rent yet, but next year when I go across to the West Coast, I'm sure they're going to be crazy.
Rent on the West Coast is crazy. I live on the West Coast. And you're just paying for the fact that you could see the sunset, maybe.
That's insane. Hopefully I'm like, real rich by then. We'll see, But
the cost of living here is astronomical.
It's crazy.
Astronomical. I think the brunt of my
what's a
paycheck
problem?
goes on food.
I was going to say, that is a problem in society. The supermarkets, just to eat, it's horrible.
Like, and that's not being extravagant. That's just basic.
The basics.
I've been trying to do like loopholes on like trying to like make it cheaper, like going to the market, maybe buying like, I don't know, being vegan. I'm vegan vegetarian, but not like vegetarian where you gotta buy like everything. The expensive things. But
you're not organic.
Yeah, not like organic, but like, you're eating clean, eating from the market, eating fresh. I live opposite the beach, so the fishermen are always up there, buy some fish, go and cut it on the beach or something, and go back home and just live very minimal hippie life. Because like if I go to Massey every time I go to shop, I would die.
Like literally be like, and that'll be a $300 US bill, so that's 600 Bajan, right? Easily. Crazy.
How much is it overseas though?
It's the same. It's just as bad. Like I spend about 200 US every week in the supermarket.
Week?
Every week.
Oh my gosh.
Without fail. Yep. Because we have Trader Joe's up there and like different super centers.
Trader Joe's is like the Massey over there.
Actually, yes, but to be honest, they have cheaper snacks and they have like, cheaper drinks and things like that. It just depends. If you're going to shop organically, then that's when your bill will rack up.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit of a health food, like, I'm a little bit of a food snob. I have to say that. Like I'm not going to get regular milk. I'm going to get oat milk, almond milk, cashew milk.
Price, to be honest.
Right. Well, you can't. You couldn't afford to live here then.
No, not at all. That's why I don't live here. Not anymore. That ship sailed real quick. But I think that's another problem in today's society. Is definitely everything went up, gas, food, and people are literally struggling. Like just not even like rich people are struggling. Honestly, wealth, I wouldn't say rich, but like just people that have really well-off jobs are still struggling.
Yep. Like fabric went up.
Yep. So there again, struggling, right? Everybody's struggling. And everybody has some job behind what their actual hobby or passion is, which it could be 2 jobs, 3 jobs, but at least like one, I feel like one is the career and then one is the job that pays the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's funny any time because like I be telling myself the days go really fast.
I'm like, what happened this summer? Everything just zoomed by real fast. This year went by quickly.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to remember my whole entire job history, and I've pretty much had at least 2 jobs. End of story.
That must be nice. I'm over here like, I had at least 7.
No, as in at the same time, just to make ends meet.
Okay.
Just to make ends meet. You can't, people can't, I mean, I hear this with my coworkers as well. Mm-hmm. They can't afford to just have one job. Mm-hmm. No. It doesn't pay all the bills.
No, it doesn't.
You have to have a secondary side hustle. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got a side hustle. Exactly. Selling something, buying and selling, or doing something on the side when you're off.
Mm-hmm. It's hard, man. Like, if you want to survive, it's the best of the best. Having one job that would just like pay your bills. Where's the rest of the money gonna go? Maybe, barely.
It's true. Like, we were, placed into this world.
I saw what minimum wage was, and I was like, that is barely enough to pay like a person's rent. Where are they gonna eat?
Yeah, exactly. Like, minimum wage in the States went from 15, I think, to 17 an hour. Mm. And
how much that'll be a month?
Well, roughly, 17 an hour. That's so much more than. But it minimum wage in Barbados.
But it depends on what you make.
Like $5 or $8
in Barbados.
Imagine somebody like I sit in
what's the minimum wage
for
here?
An hour, and even here $8 for your thing.
Wait, what is that? The minimum wage here?
I thought $10 an hour was the minimum wage.
In Barbados, it's $5 US minimum wage in Barbados. That's what you're telling me.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm saying. I cannot see myself sitting down for an hour and someone hand me $5.
I agree with you. You're better off doing your bikini line. What? I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Like, in the beginning, making the bikinis was, if you push hard enough, was probably minimum wage. And I was like, I cannot believe, like, someone is literally probably doing more than me in a freaking supermarket or something, and I home right now doing this and making the same thing. Like, that is ridiculous to me, and I don't know how people expect them to survive. Like, they just literally look at us like sheep that can just, like, work and, like, I don't know. That's why...
And continually produce.
That's why I thought it was so important if I get staff that I have to pay them fairly, because I'll be like,
right now,
how do you survive?
How do you survive? Right, because it's just a cut of what I make, for the work that you've helped me with. Yeah, no, I mean, I have a team behind Really Reilly. Of course, it's not, I'm not the only one. I don't think I've never been the only one. I've been very fortunate to have King Bubba and everyone, that backs up. In fact, one of my best friends who was on my episode, her name's Callie. You guys can go listen to episodes 7 and 8. Mm-hmm. And she was on the podcast, and she is, and she tells the audience, she's like, yeah, like I've been friends with Reilly since college. She's been with me through my entire college journey. We went through it all together. We were both graphic designers. The only difference is that she stuck out with graphic design for a long time, and then she went back and changed her career, and now she's going to be, is a teacher. Wow. She's in the process now of doing her master's degree to have her own classroom one day.
That's good.
Yeah, and it really just fits her personality, like 100%. Whereas for me, I guess since 15, I've always been, the entertainment world, their competition, but I'm unique, so God will provide.
God will provide. As a parent, it's really hard to kind of sit down and, sit back and watch your child want to enter that field. And
that's how my mom feels.
And knowing the heartbreak, the heartache, the how many doors will be shut in your face, and the disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just
There's
really...
a lot of disappointment.
Yeah, there is. And I still, there's opportunities where, I remember, when I was telling you guys that I wanted to model and stuff, and that wasn't what God had planned for me. That wasn't the universe's plan. It wasn't. It was like, okay, I'm supposed to do this. And my friends always teased me for it when I was bullied a lot in school. So now to look back at that to now, another problem in today's society, and it's mental health, and it's the bullying. It's everything that we've discussed here today so far. And I used to get bullied so much, and everyone would be like, you know what? She's going to amount to nothing. I remember in high school, before my parents plucked me out and put me into a different high school in America, they were like, she's not going to graduate high school. She's not going to go to college. She's not going to do anything with her life. I proved everybody wrong, clearly. But, it's just the bullying, it has to stop. I remember being bullied just for how I looked and that, number one, I talked a lot. And now I have a well-known podcast based in Barbados.
That's how it goes, though.
Everyone teased me. I had no friends. I had 2 friends in high school. And then I left that high school and went to a different high school, and I had to wear uniforms. So it was bringing back what happened in Barbados to then go to America. I went to an all Catholic Christian school or whatever. Mm-hmm. And even they said, like, I don't know if Reilly's like gonna amount to anything. And it was so heartbreaking. I was like, you know what? You guys don't even know like what I'm passionate about. And this piece of paper in my hand, this diploma, this college degree, like it doesn't mean anything for me per se, because yeah, I've accomplished it. I studied hard and I got good grades and I did the schooling, to fall back on, if anything. But I told my mom and I said, I don't want a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. I might have one now, but, and along with me developing my career as a podcaster, influencer, actress, etc. But do I work endless hours? Yes, I completely do. So, it takes an army, within your own self to develop who you want to be. And I feel like if, because it's for the younger generations too, like my cousin would even say, and she's like, oh, I don't know, like she already knows though from my struggle. She's like, well, I know because my cousin, meaning me, she's like, I want to go to cosmetology school. And I even did that before I decided that I wanted to be like my own brand. And I said, it takes a lot, like find your hobbies, like what you want to do, and then you can develop them. And I'm sure that's how you feel, Cherianne, for your kids as well. Like find what you want to do, because then you'll be happy, and then there'll be less mental health struggles, at least within yourself and then within the world. I feel like it's seriously a problem. Like everyone, and there's some families that will just like shut you down completely and just ignore like your own voice and ignore who you want to be in this world. And I feel like we're all here for a purpose. We're not here to be like factored into one job. Like, it's crazy. That's just my opinion.
A lot of people push their kids into, lawyers, doctors, kind of streamlined jobs. Mm-hmm. And I was really happy I did art. And I'm really happy that, both my kids at least studied art to a certain extent. Because no matter what you do in life, if you decide to become an accountant or whatever, you actually see the world through a different lens.
That's true.
And they can't take that away from you.
That's also true. Like, It depends. I know my brother, he always, like now that he's in Vegas, he wants to help people like medically with like, legal marijuana, because it's legal, obviously overseas, especially on the West Coast. You can walk into a shop and get legal marijuana. So he, works with like a factory where he grows it and provides it for those individuals rather that cannot take, pills, like actual drugs, because their bodies just won't allow it, They're in so much pain. So I think that's great that he's doing that. And that's what he's passionate about. And he wants to develop one day his own business for helping others. And I think like if you can help others within your passion, then that's it. You've made it. Like you've made it in society. If you can turn something around in the world, you can develop something that means a lot to you, or you can, for him, it's about marijuana. It's a little different, but he's still helping those that can't take all of those medications. And he just packed up his car one day and said, you know what, bye, I'm out. I mean, he planned it, but when he drove, I was so emotional. I was like, don't get hurt, like call every day. It was crazy. But he was like, I have to do this to become the man that I want to be and to make a difference in the world. And then I just started bawling after that. I was like, all right, you've made it, dude. Like I see your vision. And that's a wrap on this episode. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. We had so much fun, right?
Yes, we did.
And then that's not all. We're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do 2 giveaways, actually. Zoe.
We're going to give away a bikini from Zoe's Bikinis.
And we're going to do a giveaway from...
And I'd love to give you a bikini from CEG Swimwear.
Details to be released on all social media platforms. Make sure to follow Really Reilly the podcast, Reilly Artistry, CEG, Barbados, and Zoe's Bikinis.
This episode is produced by Mark Newton, along with Just Saying Productions and music by King Bubba. We'll be back with another great episode soon. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Peace out.